So the story will totally outrage you. The five-time deported illegal immigrant who got away with killing 32-year-old Kate Steinle on a San Francisco pier, this was back in July 2015, is now asserting, quote, vindictive prosecution and collusion in the federal government's case against him. Garcia Zarate's federal case came after a California state court acquitted him in November 2017 of first and second degree murder and involuntary manslaughter of Steinle. Now, Garcia Zarate is facing federal charges of possessing a firearm while being a felon and being here illegally. In an attempt to prove his, quote, vindictive prosecution and collusion agreement, Garcia Zarate cites comments President Trump and the Attorney General Jeff Sessions have made in the past regarding his case and is seeking all communications that the U.S. government has had with local law enforcement agencies. Additionally, Garcia Zarate is claiming double jeopardy, claiming that, well, he was already tried for being a felon possessing a firearm in state court. Joining us now is former Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff Paul Babeu is with us, and radio talk show host, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. Paul, is there any doubt in your mind that this person was guilty based on the facts as we know them?
Absolutely not. He is guilty. This is a sick twist in the fact that here this criminal illegal who's been not only deported 5 times, he was wanted for a 6th time before the sanctuary policies released him before turning him over to ICE. But the sickness here is that now he's crying as the victim, that there's vindictive prosecution, that he's going to be held accountable for crimes that he committed. He had been convicted in the past of numerous felonies for drug violations of heroin and other drugs, and he shoots Kate Steinle in the back with a stolen handgun from a federal agent, and now his attorneys and he is claiming more rights than you and I as citizens, and that he's the victim of prosecution and even collusion between the state, the local prosecutors, and the federal government. And anybody who's been watching the news, regardless if you're a conservative like us or liberals, knows there's little to no collusion with anything in California and the federal government.
Do you have any problem with this case, Leslie?
Well, quite frankly, I do. And the reason I have a problem with it is you got to give the attorneys an A for effort on behalf of their client. But this is absolutely ridiculous, Sean. And sorry, I'm not going to disagree with you guys on this. Just from a legal, factual perspective, there are 2 things the attorneys are going after here. And from my little legal training, I can tell you there's no double jeopardy and there's no vindictiveness. When you look at the law, it's very clear. What he was acquitted of is not what the federal government is going after him for, which he clearly has been guilty of, which is entering the United States illegally and illegal possession of a firearm. So the federal government is within its right, although his attorneys, I think it's crazy they're going to lose both of these, in my opinion. They're doing their best for their client.
Why is there the mysterious reluctance? And how is it that the Oakland mayor can literally warn criminal illegal immigrants, oh, ICE agents are coming? We're not talking about DACA. We're not talking about dreamers. We're not talking about people that just want to better their lives. We're talking about people that not only didn't respect our laws and sovereignty, but then came here and committed more crimes, and in many cases, violent crimes. Why isn't the Oakland mayor arrested? Why should California get $1 federal being a sanctuary state, which is basically aiding and abetting lawbreaking?
Well, if you're asking me, Sean, I would tell you, first of all, if there was anything there criminally, the cuffs would be on. And I think you'll see there isn't. One of the reasons you had the spokesperson for ICE leave.
Is it aiding and tipping off criminal illegal immigrants? Is that aiding and abetting and obstructing justice?
I
Sean,
believe it is.
What we are hearing from ICE is that there were nearly 1,000 people that could have been detained in less than a 48-hour period. Absolutely impossible,
Paul?
One. And that all of these people had criminal charges. I want to see the evidence of that.
Paul?
Absolutely. Any time in law enforcement, you can be a patrol officer. You know that when you interfere with lawful authority, and this was lawful authority of the federal government, and they're sharing private information in law enforcement, and she goes out there because she's privy to that and announces it publicly, alerting known criminals who don't even have citizenship in our country that, hey, the cops are coming, you better get out of town. That's a crime. That should should absolutely be prosecuted. Jeff Sessions should pursue her and hold her to account, because any future crime that these criminals commit, how can she not be held liable and responsible as an accomplice to those and have blood on her own hands?
All right, thank you both.